Well, I learned something new every day because this is what I didn't know. I didn't know that being a mechanic was difficult. And as I'm starting to just look at these videos and watch a lot of videos, I'm starting to see that mechanics, they feel like they don't get the respect they deserve. And then it feels like every time they do a job, it just stresses them out. And it was something in this video that I seen that I always wanted to know because I seen some of these points that I was just discovering that I never knew about. And there's one video that I seen about mechanics quitting, and one of the reasons was that sometimes when they design a car, which I didn't know, that they design it just for you to go back to the dealership. And then the way that they designed the car for it to be fixed and worked on, it stresses out the mechanic also because they have to take off a lot of parts just to get to this one particular part. And mechanics don't want to go through that. They don't want to deal with that headache. So that's why they be giving customers the runaround. I never knew that. But after watching some of these videos, I'm starting to learn more and more about why mechanics are quitting. They're tired of just constantly being stressed every day. And some of them even saying that they have anxiety every time they go to their work to even work on a car. But that sounds like everybody that's working at their job. It's just stressful. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the job or people. You try to go somewhere and do another job, it feel like it's the same thing. That's everywhere you go. So it's like you always feel like you trapped. And then what I'm starting to realize is that a lot of mechanics, they have dreams. They don't want to just be a mechanic all their life. They want to do something else. And I never knew that because I thought that them taking up that trade, they would get paid a lot of money. But some people saying it's not about the money.
Yeah, that's right. I quit my job. You know, these folks, they got it all messed up, man. They want you to work hard. They want you to help them out. They want you to complete 4 or more cars a day. They want you to stay overtime. Mandatory. Since when is there a mandatory overtime? All of that, but they never want to give you a raise. They never want to give you what you deserve. You know, when I got into the trade, it was never about money. I'm in this to learn so I could do my own thing. But this was wearing me out, man. This was too much. Working 50, 60 hours a week, waking up at 4 a.m., busting your ass on my feet all day. You know, it just wasn't making sense. The money wasn't making sense with the amount of work I was doing. Yes, I'm still learning, but I know my worth. I know what I'm capable of fixing. But I'm gonna sit back for a bit, take some time off, put some pieces together, and come up with a plan for myself. I'll try to stay active with the content and post side jobs that I do. But yeah, man, I'ma definitely miss my coworkers. This is the only shop I worked at where I got along with all my coworkers and everybody was just cool and chill.
It's just the things that you have to deal with. And it's a lot of things I didn't know about. So that's why I'm starting to understand the mechanic industry even more. And these videos that I've been watching, I never knew. It's crazy. And I know in this video I just seen, I know it was just like an experimental video to see what they'll say. But I couldn't believe it because they basically was saying that it's not worth it. They're tired of being a mechanic. A lot of people are just being mechanics because they have to. And it's causing health problems when they get older. They tend to not like their job. They walking around limping.
Here is why I quit diesel mechanic. And everybody needs to understand, every blue collar man, we have to respect them. They put in a lot of work. Like actually being on the job, seeing the kind of work that we put in, it's something, man. So I definitely respect all the blue collar workers for sure. But the reason why I quit is because I started to see where I wanted to go and where my life was starting to go. Meaning I looked at guys who are older in the field and I picture myself being in their shoes. And you would see a lot of older guys that are in the field They're limping. They're just not healthy. They hate their job. They don't like it, but they deal with it because that's all that they know. So I said, you know what? I have to take a risk and I have to try something else.
And I just didn't know this. And then some people say, in order for them to stop being a mechanic, how much money would they take? And I know they was joking, but they jokes had some truth to it. Some people said $20 is all it can take for them to stop being a mechanic. And I didn't know that they just doing their job just to do their job. But in reality, that's what a lot of Americans are doing, though. Just ask yourself that. Do you like your job, to be honest? Or you just doing it because it's a paycheck? And you just working just to live from paycheck to paycheck. And it's sad because I didn't know it's just too much stress a mechanic has to deal with. So that's why this is a huge topic that a lot of people, they don't get to speak out. And some people have been mechanics for 20 years, 20 plus years. And then you got people who love being a mechanic, but not too many people love being a mechanic. And it's just a sad situation because you would think that you get this trade, you learn how to fix things and you learn how to become a mechanic, but it's so much they have to do. And I didn't know that they have to do like 5 jobs in one. And that's just crazy. After they do the 5 jobs in one, they don't get paid for those all 5 jobs. So you have to do extra. And then it makes them don't want to work on any more cars ever again. And it's just like something that goes on in their mind and their spirit about fixing cars. So this is becoming a bigger problem than we think. I didn't know.
What amount of money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic? You can't work on things for the rest of your life.
$20.
Shane,
Yeah.
what amount of money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic? You can't work on things for the rest of your life.
I like what I do. I'd say like at least 200K.
200K.
At least.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I love doing this shit.
200K. That's all I would. Man, if somebody had
Said you can't be a mechanic. How much money are you gonna take? You're gonna say 200K?
How much money would somebody have to give you for you to quit being a mechanic and you can't work on anything for the rest of your life?
Give me 20 bucks, I'll be out this bitch so fast. You couldn't even catch me.
Zach, how much money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic? You can never work on stuff ever again.
Enough to pay off my tool bills. That's about it. Probably like 30 grand and I'm done.
What amount of money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic?
Quit being a mechanic.
Yeah.
For last me the rest of my life?
You can never be a mechanic ever again.
I just love it so much, so don't even give me money.
When it starts to take a toll on you and it's starting to become the same thing every day, repetitive, people just get tired of it. And then it's just hard on your body. And I never knew that. So this is what I'm learning. A lot of people are learning about the mechanical field. And it's just no joke. It's difficult. And a lot of people don't like the way older mechanics talk to them.
Here's another one for all you baby ass techs getting into the industry. Yeah, now this one's easy. This is the old ass tech that was taught by his daddy how to learn fucking mechanics. We treat you like shit. We're gonna call you a dumbass. We're gonna call you a moron. Yeah, we're all assholes. But if we're not doing that, more than likely we don't like you. More than likely you don't show us enough initiative or enough give a damn about your freaking job to fucking care enough to teach you. But if you sit there and you bust your ass and you do your job and you put in the effort and we let you borrow the tools and we call you a dumbass, a moron, or a jackass, more than likely that tech will pretty much teach you whatever the hell you want to know. Learn it, like it, enjoy it, because you're just going to make more and more money as the time goes on because we're that freaking good.
Some people, you just can't say anything to them. As I'm seeing on these videos, and that may be how older mechanics talk. You know, that's just how they talk. So they may talk to somebody that's just becoming in a mechanic field, just started. They talking to them like they're a rookie. And they are rookies to the older mechanics, but some people just don't like that. Some people will try to start a confrontation with you because you can't talk to anybody any kind of way. Just because they new, you don't know these people. And I know how that go. And I didn't know. So people don't like the way they're being mistreated, don't like the way they're being called out their name. And people just, they feel like they ain't got no life. So that's why a lot of people just quitting.
I quit my job on Thursday after being a mechanic for 15 years, and I was master certified through the ASE and through Nissan as well. Had hybrid, EV, GTR specialist, lots of extra stuff as well. And I was also a shop foreman for 6 years. I just got tired of the problems and the stress that was created in the environment. I did not take care of myself. You know, I kind of burned myself out, stretched myself too thin, and my stress and anxiety were getting extremely, extremely high every single day. I would wake up in the morning and my anxiety would already start spiking, and then once I got to work, it would get higher. And when I got to get tickets and stuff for diagnosis, it just went through the roof every single day. So I decided to take care of myself more than I had some money to fall back on right now, so at least we can try that. But I'm going to be on here showing people how to make money in extra ways and kind of documenting that process. I've had lots of side gig stuff, side hustle stuff, where I've made money on my own. I technically did not have to make money being as a technician. I was just good at it and very efficient. So that's why I did that career for 15 years. But I think it's time for a change, time to do something that doesn't burn me out and does not make me feel stressed to do everything. I didn't take my mind out of the shop. I didn't go on appropriate vacations and stuff. And when I did, when I got back, everything was ruined and a mess, and I had to fix it all. So that's why I got burned out. So make sure you take care of yourself if you're getting into the field. Make sure you take time for yourself. Make sure you actually separate the shop politics from your day-to-day mindset. Yeah, follow me and see what kind of stuff I do. My goal is to make $30,000 a month. If you think I can do it, follow. I'll show you how I did. If you don't think I can do it, follow to see that I don't do it.
We all learned something, because after watching these videos, now we see why mechanics are quitting everywhere. We all thought they was just quitting for no reason. But as you see, a lot of mechanics are not quitting for no reason. Because if you don't know anybody, you can start off being in debt because you're responsible for a lot of things. And I didn't know that when it comes to working at dealerships.
Why is there a shortage of technicians at Ford dealerships? I asked and you guys delivered. So this is 5 reasons why technicians are leaving the dealerships all around the country. All right, starting off strong, number 5. So the cost of tools and training for younger technicians to start in the industry. I did see this a lot when I was working at the shops that I had been at. When you're starting off, you have to buy yourself a toolbox. You have to buy yourself all the tools. You got to know all the things in order to even get that job. So starting off, you can already be, up to $50K in debt depending on how far you get yourself into it. If you're lucky like me, when I started off where I was, it was based on connections and I've had previous experience working on vehicles. But if you don't have that and you're starting from the ground up, you have to support yourself in order to get yourself that job that typically isn't the highest paying. All right, number 4, vehicle complexity and poor design. So I noticed this when I was working at the auto parts stores, that our engineers are not being our friends when it's coming to actually working on broken vehicles. When I was working at the parts stores, we noticed a trend that there were certain things that if you tried to work on a newer vehicle, you may have to recalibrate something, or it was just almost entirely like a waste of your time to try to do because it was removing so much to do one thing. So they design them in a way that they want you to take these cars to the dealership so that you're paying them to do the work for you. And in turn, the technicians that are getting handed this work, they don't want it because it's way more complex and way more difficult than it would have been if you were working on something 20 or 30 years older, if that makes sense. So it's the work itself doesn't feel worth it to them when they make it too complex to even do in the first place. All right, reason number 3. I definitely understand this one. So feeling undervalued and disrespected. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I don't work in the automotive industry anymore. for my own sakes, you know, being a 5'2" woman in a male-led industry, it can be very hard to, you know, get your foot out the door and feel like you're valued. And I definitely understand that, but I definitely saw disrespect towards a lot of younger people, especially. They get talked down to. If they spit out an idea, it's typically the first idea that they're going to shove under the rug and say they do something right, or, you know, they diagnose something correctly. They typically don't get the credit for it, and they don't feel like they're part of the team. They feel like they have to claw their way to earn respect. And I understand that respect is sometimes earned and not given, but if you haven't done anything to you know, undermine that, I don't understand, like, why are we treating the young kids like crap? Because if you treat them like crap, they're only going to take it so many times before they're out going to go find another trade to do. So, all right, number 2, flat rates and low pay. So this was a huge one that I saw in the comments, and luckily I didn't have to deal with this. The only time I've ever worked at shops, I was on hourly. But when you're on a flat rate basis, especially when it's low paying, you only make a certain amount of money for the work that you do. And say you're on commission, if there's no work to do, you don't get paid. So I saw a couple guys leave the shops because when it got too slow during winter time, they had to go. They needed to make money, and there was no money to be made at the shops. And on top of that, you know, if you're not making much for this crappy work that you're doing at low rates, you're going to go find a dealership or a shop that's going to pay you more. Simple as that. And kind of tying back with the last topic we were talking about, stop giving pizza parties and start giving bonuses. People need money, not pizza. And reason number 1 that I saw the most in my comments, tying back to the last topic, is warranty work. So along with the low paying rates and, you know, flat pay, you are also dealing with warranty work, especially from dealerships. So they tell the customer you have a warranty on this for this long, and the techs will repair that and that if something were to go awry. And they get this amount of money to do that warranty work and say, we're going to warranty out your starter. And so the dealership takes your car, they give it to the techs and say, this is a warranty. So you only have 2 hours to do this job. This is the amount of money you're making for this job, and it's not much. Say that starter is stuck, or takes a million, you have to take off a million things to even get to it, and you have now gone past that 2 hour mark, and you're now working on this starter for 5-6 hours. You're still only making that amount of money that they're paying you for that 2 hour job that turned out to be a nightmare. And in my opinion, if you see a lot of those working in a dealership, I'd be out so fast. Like, I don't blame you guys. So I am going to be tagging Ford, GMC, Dodge, because you guys made it well aware to me that it's not just a sole dealership issue or a sole company issue. This is an issue across the entire automotive industry right now. And, you know, they got to learn that even though technology is getting better, robots cannot replace mechanics. So, you know, care about your company's people before you branch off beyond that. So, hope you guys enjoyed.
So a lot of mechanics are quitting dealerships. So no wonder the same dealerships you used to go to, it's not fixing your car like it used to. You have to take it back and spend thousands of dollars. And as a customer, who wants to go through that? So that's why a lot of people are trying to start their own businesses outside of a shop.
Alright guys, loading up on my stuff. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm really upset about with the Jaguar dealership that I'm at. Turns out the exotic cars were not as profitable as I thought they would be. And that's okay. It's fine. So I'm going to go back to one of the brands that I know that I can make money at, and I got a really good offer. I'm going to go ahead and just pursue that because I've decided that this year is going to be about money. I'm not going to settle for anything less, and if I get anything less, then I'm leaving. So this is what we're doing. I will post a Toolbox Friday pick tomorrow, or video, we'll see, and maybe go into depth a little bit more about the circumstances. But until then, I'll talk to you later. Guys, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm being punished by the auto repair shop gods or something. Something's not right about the way things are right now, and I genuinely don't know what to do about it. So I don't know why. I don't know what it is about maybe my branding or the things that I don't know, post, and we've been posting to get brake jobs and stuff, but I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get customers in here for anything other than transmission work. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. On top of that, the work that we are getting, we've completely slowed down. Ever since gas prices went up, we've died. So we're kind of struggling right now to pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? Because like getting cars in here and getting work done has been extremely difficult and very slow and painstaking at this point. So I've been advertising, I've been making videos, I've been making estimates. We have a lot of estimates. I have 70 estimates in my computer right now, and nobody is biting, and I don't know what it is. And we're offering discounts, you know, we're advertising for brake and air conditioning repairs. I don't know what else I can do. I genuinely do not, besides going outside and throwing a brick at somebody's car and telling them that we can fix it here. I don't know what else we can do. Am I the only shop owner right now that's having this issue? Are there other shops that are slow right now? I've seen a couple of places here local that looked like they were a little slow, but like there are a lot of places that are still looking pretty busy. I mean, I think we've got about 7 cars here, which is very, very slow. We're usually at about 15 or 20 cars. Let me know, guys, in the comment section. Are you guys slow? What's happening? What are you doing to mitigate being slow? What kind of advertising are you doing? Let me know in the comment section because I do not know. I'm Mr. Master Tech. I'll see you guys in the next video I decide to make.
They don't have to be rushed. They don't have to make mandatory overtime. They can have their life. They can make their own schedule. And a lot of people be wanting their own schedule. And truth be told, a lot of people don't want to be a mechanic. They're just doing it to collect a check. They're really not passionate about it. So it's going to show in their work. So that's why you see, if they had a choice, they'd leave being a mechanic for $20. They just telling you it ain't for the weak. And then you gotta put up with what people are saying, and that's at any job. But when they call you names and that's how they talk, a lot of people just can't handle it. And it's sad because there's more and more mechanics quitting every day. And that industry is becoming scarce. So it's like, if you got a good mechanic, you got to hold on to him or her. And it's just crazy out here. Because who would have ever thought that the field that they're going into was that hectic? You never know. And then they constantly never stop working because they got friends and family that wants them to work on their car.
I don't have to work on your vehicle. If it's going to be a problem job or a problem customer or a problem car, I don't have to work on it. And for you to get mad at me is kind of crazy because I don't want to work on it. I know what's going to be a problem. I've had this place long enough to know that certain vehicles are problems, certain jobs are problems, and certain customers are problems. So if I tell you, nah, that ain't something we want to mess with, there's no reason to get mad. Just call somebody else. Somebody will do it. I don't want to do it. I don't have to do it. But for you to insinuate that you need to work on my vehicle, no, I don't have to. We're a tire shop. We like to do tires and brakes and oil changes and all that. We do some mechanic stuff. You know, some of the easy alternators or starters or, you know, tune-up stuff like that, we do them. But we don't do all of them. We don't have to. I'm not going to make my guys do it if I'm not comfortable doing it. So, at y'all's request, the brake rotor's back. So, thanks for all the love, the likes, shares, follows, comments. I appreciate y'all. I couldn't do it without you. And if you aren't following Shitty Tire, you should be.
And you know how that go. They want you to do it for free. Like you ain't got bills. And it's just crazy. Everything is just difficult out here. So mechanics, I feel y'all pain. And I see why y'all giving up everywhere. I never knew this. So in reality, if you're a mechanic and you can relate to this, leave it in the comments. You can share your story. And that's my take on this situation. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.